Everyone, hope everything is going well. Today I'm going to be talking, or I'm going to be reading, what I think are funny comments that I've received regarding loaded boxes. And as you can see the other day, or if you haven't noticed, Michael Rubin, in my opinion, basically admitted that there are loaded boxes, there will be audits, and I don't think they're going to be auditing the influencers who have been getting the loaded boxes. Once again, this is my interpretation, but the fact that he has to even talk about it, it looked like some hanky panky is going down. Now, I understand why some people in the hobby or industry that have worked in what they describe as a tight control system, like Carvin Chung, who's worked with Upper Deck, who's created the exquisite card, he's been through that process and he's a little skeptical on this concept of these hot boxes. And I can understand his point of view because he's worked on the inside with a stronger control system based on what he's saying. But for the people in the comment section, I mean, they haven't worked in that type of environment. So I'm going to be reading these comments, and I want your opinion on these because some of them are just quite hilarious. All right. I'm going to start with Card Collector 2. I did a video 11 months ago. And this video had Blaze Jordan, a MLB guy. And in that video, Blaze Jordan opened his card, or he opened a pack with his autograph in it. All right, that just was weird. You usually see this in like Pac-Man videos where, oh, Cade Cunningham pulls his own autograph. I want to look at some of these comments over here, and it's just quite interesting. And let's look at some of the comments right now. One of this is Michael or Mike Akan or Michael E. Akan. Knowing a false accusation can permanently to someone's reputation, is there a line that could be crossed at a certain point? Do you have any responsibility as a person of influence? Does one need or should have real evidence, or is a hunch enough, or is all fair for the views in YouTube land? Seriously asking, not judging, and of course you could do as you please, that is your right, but that doesn't make it right. All right, this is what people said regarding the cardboard situation. You know, any comments now? And what was funny with the card porn situation, people pointed the finger at me rather than at card porn. They were more angry, or they were just as angry in some instances as me, at me, rather than card porn. That I was the bad guy. All right, and I'm going to be reading some of those card porn comments because those are quite hilarious. And let's just look at one other comment here, which I think is really, really interesting. Or this is another one. Card Collector 2 wouldn't do that. He's a great guy. I mean, what about the card at the National? It doesn't have to be with Card Collector 2. It could have been, you know, someone from the inside giving him the box. How did he get that National pack with Corbin Carroll? That seems weird. Right? I'm just being honest. There's a what? There's a 1 out of 1. I believe that was a superfractor. Now, Colby Brand says, this is the hammer nail dynamic at play. You guys have turned into the InfoWars wing of the hobby, and you all are suffering from the self-fulfilling prophecy condition, which provides positive conditioning. It tells you guys that you are uniquely capable of seeing through corruption and are capable of seeing things clearly, and others are not. Everything is confirming that you're right. Basically, you are all hammers in search of nails, and everything looks like a nail. I think it's also unlikely. I don't think you guys have at the cost-benefit analysis for Fanatics versus the potential exposure they'd face if this were true and came out. As a side note, number one, Michael Rubin hinted at marketing. Look at the clip that he had with Bill Simmons. Now going back to it, it seems extremely paltry. Okay, Card Collector 2 pulls a Blaze Jordan auto with Blaze Jordan. What added hype did this provide to cards? Maybe 2x more people watched the video, but even then, what added benefit of the video versus if he did not pull anything? In my opinion, this is marketing. Now going back to the comment. This is an essay. I'm going to read you because it's hilarious. From the box to be loaded, obviously he purchased the box from someone that was on it. Where did he purchase the box? Where did he announce that he was going to have Blaze Jordan on his show? I doubt this was planned more than 2 months. When was the box package? If it's 2021, wouldn't that thing have been sealed a year ago? I do collect ultra modern baseball, so I don't know when 2021 stuff was boxed. Basically, for this to have been a conspiracy, Card Collector 2 would have been on the know. Then, whoever he bought the box from would have to be on the know. Then some extremely high-level fanatics person would have to facilitate the scandal with the folks who box the cards and ensure that Blaze Jordan was put in the box. All that trouble for reporting like Blaze Jordan being there when his card was pulled. It's just so improbable. It would mean a company the size of Fanatics is taking absolutely tremendous reputation, crushing risk, and putting that in the hands of someone who they didn't even know. What if Card Collector 2 flipped and snitched on them? It's just so unlikely. What would be probable is that Card Collector 2 somehow engineered it with placing the card in a pack somehow, but that seems totally illogical, and yes, implying that about him is totally disparaging. And while you are free to do that, you probably shouldn't. I realize you didn't necessarily imply that, but I think the InfoWars part of the hobby, basically saying it's free speech, I can say what I want. Yes, you can do whatever you guys ever ask yourself. If it's wrong to sully someone's integrity without any real evidence, you say, I'm just asking questions. Sure, but they are still directly creating harm. Basically, has John Doe ever beat his wife? Sure, it's just a question, but who isn't left with a negative impression of John? I mean, it's possible he beat his wife, and he at least questioned on the subject. Sorry for the dark analogy, but it communicates a point. I don't think you're a bad guy, but this process has led you to this place where you kind of do with this a lot of people, and I could see how your channel started as an innocent hobby talk channel and has organically evolved into a hobby tabloid magazine. I also see that slow boiling of the frog means that at the beginning you'd probably have been very reluctant to cast all these unfounded aspirations, but you now do it even without questioning if you're harming people's reputation. Maybe the process has made you not care if you're harming people's reputation because you are more focused on feeding the beast. At the end of the day, it's considerably more benign. InfoWars claiming a school full of children were not mowed down, and it was all to pressure the gun lobby. But the mechanism is similar. You are willing to cast unfounded aspirations that merely could be a possibility, but because conjuring the possibility is the only prerequisite for the exploration of the topic. Also, it seems you're willing to always disregard any personal harm you may cause on the members of the story because you're simply asking questions. I imagine if you could place the odd you in place for the new you, you'd probably make a whole lot of disclosure before casting the aspersions that you do now without any feelings or moral conundrum. But I know neither person, the old you or this. But I understand how engaging and what I feel is wrong you can become easier the more times I do it. Now, until ultimately the byproduct may be a total clean conscience for people like Alex Jones. I'm not all comparing your empathy towards the folks you talk about to his, because that man borders on sociopathic, and I honestly think you're a good guy, likely, but definitely compromising your integrity with these unfounded aspirations. I'm guilty of equally poor behavior, by the way, and am more looking at this from a pure psychological level. Man, that was deep, man. First of all, the whole Alex Jones situation, the InfoWars, the conspiracy angle. Over the past few years, what has happened in our society that has come true, the conspiracy theories? Did Epstein kill himself? Just asking questions. Was the vaccine real? Just asking questions. Was it a fake vaccine? I mean, how much did they lie during the pandemic? You want to get into the Alex Jones stuff? We'll talk about it. He's been more right than wrong. Just like the InfoWars, air quotes, InfoWars wing of this hobby, they have been more right than wrong. My tinfoil hat stuff, as people say, has been more right than wrong. And I ask questions, and I've taken heat for it. So it is what it is. Just remember, ask yourself, how many of these conspiracy theories in society and sports cards have turned out to be right? Think for yourself. My own thoughts, okay? This was another video. Sports cards, Fanatics giving another loaded box? Question mark. This was with Ty and Chasing Cardboard. And there's a Mike Trout acetate card. 1 out of 3,000. And it was weird that they pulled this card. And he never pulled this card before. And, you know, Ty never pulled a card like this before. Just reiterating that. Let's look at this. Josh W198. I used to be a fan of this channel, not anymore so much. They also opened 4 or 5 boxes that didn't have anything. This has really become more of a witch hunt. No, it's not. Michael Rubin just announced that they had to do an audit because of all of this talk that we're doing. And also, they give influencers these boxes just like they gave Ty, and it's a 1 out of 3,000 chance of pulling this. You tell me, is this a witch hunt, or are these legitimate questions to ask? And once again, they give them the product to open on camera where you get thousands of views. That looks like hanky-panky to me. Brian Bertrand says, Brian Bertrand 2819. So you think cops gave him a loaded box? He's laughing. Haha, bro, you're such a weirdo. Now I would ask the question, what do you think of Michael Rubin and his comments? Why the need for an audit? That looks like hanky-panky to me. Now, these were interesting comments. And this was a video where Mama Breaks opened, or one of her customers opened a pack on camera. It was a 1 out of 4,000 chance, from my memory, of pulling this Darth Vader card. And I just asked, hey, did Fanatics give a loaded Star Wars box to Mama Breaks? And some people just went nuts. And this was Kurt Angle rookie year, an individual that I've done a live stream or two with. He says, ladies and gentlemen, the curator of clicks, AIH Sports. Now, I would ask, what are your thoughts now with Michael Rubin making this admission the other day? Am I still the curator of clicks? By the way, I was one of the first few people to examine curator in a very close eye. You know, I was the one pointing out the hanky-panky stuff that curator was doing, right? So that's just really interesting. Next comment that he made, local card shop here hit a Jackie Robinson Auto Cup 1 out of 1. I went right in there and told him AIH Sports will be on this case. What's quite interesting was that, speaking of Jackie Robinson, you had Michael Rubin and that soccer player from France. They opened a very scarce Mike Trout card, and guess what? A very scarce Jackie Robinson card. Mario Alejandro called out Fanatics on that. And very shortly after that, Mario claims he lost his Topps potential deal. It was a deal, sponsored deal. He lost it. Okay. Very interesting. So that's quite interesting. Right after this comment, a few months later, they, in my opinion, opened a loaded box for marketing purposes. And I don't think this will be in the scope of audit when influencers open these boxes. That's just my opinion. There are more comments from this individual. Or let's look at another one. Matt Mortier 8201, AIH. I used to really enjoy your channel and your thoughts, but you are pretty much accusing everyone of being crooks and scammers. The hobby is full of honest and good people, more with a very small percentage of scammers. Your continued hate and conspiracy theories is also bad for the hobby. It's a time to celebrate successes in the hobby and not assume it's all fake. If there is evidence, like the dip guy, then hammer. But if not, post a positive video of someone hitting a 1 out of 1. I'm not going to put a positive video when it's rigged, when there's hanky-panky, when there's a loaded box. All right? And conspiracy theories, I'll go back to the previous comments. How many conspiracy theories have been right in our society? How many conspiracy theories that I've discussed here on this channel have turned out to be right? All those critics are all of a sudden silent. They're silent because it doesn't fit their narrative. Because they are in their own echo chamber and they will not acknowledge when they're wrong. Because they have a huge ego. That's what it's all about. And let's see. He goes on. He's just saying that no, there isn't that much fraud in this hobby. I disagree. Okay, let's look at this. And then Kurt Angle, rookie, said, AIH went off the rails a long while ago. I don't care if he was on the train, someone responded. Yes, the Goofball Express. So apparently I'm on the Goofball Express for accurately describing card porn, for accurately, in my opinion, describing the loaded box situation before the masses could, for accurately getting the tops in some of these markets. So I'm on the Goofball Express. These are the comments that I see on my YouTube channel very often, on Instagram. Been called a negative Nancy. And just because I call out the BS. And just because I don't sign a petition. Guess what? Michael Rubin will respond when there's enough pushback out there. So the Sports Card Radios of the world, the Danny the Cardmans of the world, Ziggy, there's This Cardboard Life on Instagram, and a few other channels out there, the pushback has caused Michael Rubin to respond, but it's kabuki theater in my opinion, because they're not going to be auditing the influencers, they're just going to be auditing the distribution. So, glad to see Michael Rubin act, but it's nothing but, like I said, kabuki theater, as I read in a comment of an individual on Instagram. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.